Ja, voor de Essen, ja. Oké. Is je mee? Go.
Gonna wave my free flag. Hi. What's the deal?
I got paid for
Oh, you left it on the table?
No.
Ah. I was caught. There we go. This is what it's all about. See, this is what you don't get when you play Düsseldorf. I'm sorry. It's really nice, but... Bag. You shouldn't leave your camera so like that. Someone will break. This is what happens after 2 days of playing. This is what you got. Amongst other things, this is our travel bag. We are rich kids on LSD. Find it? And, oh, cool. Shirt, and this is my only other pair of pants. They're really stiff. They can just be standing in the corner.
You should have seen him just now, Bomber. You should have seen him just now, Bomber, because I didn't have enough money to pay for everything.
No way.
Bumming. He's bumming majorly.
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is my wardrobe. So cool, because after you play a show, everything gets really there's really nowhere to put it. So usually you have to drip dry like this. Now you. Here we have to go.
Yeah, the captain was.
You need Dave.
Someone asked the specs called.
Oh yeah. Are you sure I'm marking this?
Yeah, cool.
We'll be Fabrik at about 7.
7 o'clock. How many guys are there?
He said, do I need this? Okay with your tour manager?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Are these guys trying to burn you? No.
They really don't put 2 and 2 together. They just don't understand. So tonight I'll probably put these back again. And then these will be ruined at that point. I'll have nothing.
But then,
This is how come a tour costs so much money, because things break.
It's like windows. It's like pocket clips, noses. Harbor in Europe, huh? So außer die ganze Witze, dass wir bis hier gemacht haben. So I think that besides all the jokes that we've been making or people looking at us in hotels, I don't think that's like everyday life of how this tour has been. Maybe you should say some opinions of what you think of people's attitudes towards you or how you enjoy this tour at all.
For the most part, we sleep on floors. We make just enough money to break even or take a loss on the tour when we come over here. We play our hearts out every time we play. I don't think we've ever played and not put everything into it, no matter where we play, no matter how few people are there. And it gets really hard to not progress musically when people prefer your old music. And the hardest thing about it is when you come over and you're playing a place to 100 people and people are yelling at you like, you rock star this, or you money grubbing this or that. And I think everyone has this facade belief that we live real plush. Maybe it's our name, maybe it's what they've heard from other people. But everywhere we play, people seem to have to pay to get into a show to rag at us, to bitch us out for what we're doing, when in fact what we are doing is coming over here and maybe breaking even to play a bunch of shows at these places, to avoid the bigger places and try to play for the people. But at this point it's getting so hard that, I mean, everyone's sick of it. Everyone's really depressed, no matter how hard you try. Yeah, no one appreciates it, man.
It seems to me though that most of the people are into it. It just seems.
I want to say thanks to everybody that keeps coming back to the shows and that writes us, whether or not we can write them back, whether or not our addresses keep changing or whatever. A lot of people do put a lot into making our shows work out and stuff, but it gets really hard when I would just like to say, anybody who sees this who likes to like bitch us out for what we're doing, that, and why don't you start a band and playing it for 8 years and travel and keep playing these places, and then someone can yell at you or spit at you or call you rock star or this and that, and then you can have a better idea of where we're coming from.
Usually even those type of people, it seems, I don't know if you could just call them stupid or whatever, but it seems like even those type of people, when you play, they're into it. It's just at first, and then after the show, they start ragging on you, and I don't know, I guess that's pretty strenuous in its way.
Seems like a lot of people are just so fast to find any dirt they can, just out of their own boredom or something, and they're trying to find anything bad about a band just to talk shit for the sake of it. But it seems to me just a couple bad apples that want to do that. For the most part, crowds go nuts. I really appreciate that when they do. Yeah, a crowd goes nuts, but also the same people will be sitting there calling you a stupid fascist American pig, yell at you for, everything, walk in, pay their money to get into the show, have a great time, rock into it, and then rag at you afterwards for playing, being rock stars, It's like they contradict themselves, that they're totally against you, but then they have a great time at the show, and then they rag at you again for something that, they don't even know what it's all about.
What do you prefer playing? I mean, I think it's getting to the point where it's pretty obvious. A lot of smaller places, it just seems like they don't have enough organization to even put up the poster, and I'm sure it's not that you guys don't enjoy playing at these places, but it seems like with the time it's better to play at a place where it's better organized, where there's a meal there at least, where you get paid the money that you were guaranteed, so you don't have to go home with a minus when you're going home with a minus anyway, because you have to pay for your rent the time that you've gone, and you're just breaking even for the tour itself. I mean, what do you think about the difference between larger halls and smaller halls?
Okay, when you've been traveling all day or for a week or whatever, the most important thing to you really is a quiet place so you can collect your thoughts, or you can sleep, or that you can be able to deal with the situation to better prepare yourself for playing. And when you have to play a really small place where everybody who goes there, they're into the band or maybe they're not, but everybody seems to want a personal interview. A couple days ago, someone asked me a number of questions, and one of them was like, what were my sexual habits, And everybody wants this personal interview from you, and they see you on stage and they themselves can't drop the idea that you're just another person, and they see you playing and they see their friends giving you attention for playing, and I don't know if they're jealous or if it freaks them out,
I think most of the time, like, we joke about that stuff a lot, but I guess,
it makes it really hard.
When we joke and we're sarcastic about all the sexism and everything, it's a release, because touring is so strenuous mentally, physically, emotionally, and sarcasm is a release. Like, you gotta joke about these things because everybody keeps harping on us about being American and everything, and not everybody, but it does get to us. These things mean a lot to us when someone comes up to us and says, oh, you are a shit because you're from America. You know, I think just because someone's government is corrupt, and maybe the masses of our country is corrupt, doesn't mean that we are. I mean, we're people too, and we have just the same ideals as most people, you know. We're not fucking, I don't know.
We're not Rambo.
Yeah, we are.
Nobody can expect us to like come over here and know everybody's culture immediately, you know? Like if you came to the States, we wouldn't like expect you to know the rules of our billiard games or our customs on how to buy someone a beer or anything, you know? It's like the world's a really different place everywhere you go, and no one can really expect us to know how to even, I mean, people expect us to speak fluent German. We've only been here twice and for a very short time. We try our best, you know, and after a while, you really do stop caring and trying, because no matter what kind of effort you make, there's always that face right in front of you ragging. So when you get an opportunity to play a place where you don't have to have that face in front of you ragging, and the sound is excellent, the sound people are there, the club is excellent, you get something to eat, you get somewhere to sleep, it makes it a lot easier. People don't understand.
At least you're still at the point where you can still laugh about all the mishaps that happen. I mean, that's a positive thing.
You have to laugh at all the mishaps to keep, you know, to not go insane. It's a bummer for all the people that are really into the band and they like the band and they look at them as musicians instead of politicians. It's a bummer for those people that there are those people out there that just rag at you and make you feel like shit, put you down for something you're trying real hard to do. You know, there's maybe 100 people and there's 2 people out of those 100 that just are blowing it for everybody because they're just ragging on every band that probably comes over here. You know, and those bands are going to keep coming over here, and those same 2 people are going to keep ragging at them, and finally the band's going to say, hey, fuck it, man. I'm sick of those 2 people ragging at me. I'm not going to play your show. You know, maybe there's people that appreciate it, but we don't get enough appreciation. We get more people ragging at us just for being American. You know, and them saying all of us are fascist American pigs is just as naive as us saying all Germans are Nazis, you know, or all French people eat frog legs, you know. It's just... Well, you know, I mean, it's just as naive as us saying that.
The hardcore circuit, it's obvious. I mean, if you just go to a show, even in a squat, if there's a lot of people, there's a lot of power in the movement, you know, with the whole music scene. But I think people had better wise up quick and stop being so self-defeatist on their own scene, and really, I mean, the biggest form of communication is art, music, fanzines. It's all a reflection of our culture, and the best way to expose it or to exploit it is fucking one of the best ways is music. And if you take a good band that has the potential of reaching a massive audience that can change something, because statistics really matter. That's what matters. If you have 10 people walking down the street, you're going to get pelted by the cops. You're going to get pummeled. If you have 100,000, it's going to make a statement. Now, if you have an access to reaching that kind of a massive audience, then you should take advantage of it, not yell at the band and throw bottles because of your jealous position that they're doing something and you're not. You should take that access with the band and try to make it go somewhere and be supportive. And otherwise you're just going to drive something into the ground. The band's going to get sick of it, play another circuit, their music's going to get more pop, and lyrics are going to become more bullshit, and everything's going to fall apart.
Usually it's just a few worms that are kind of spawning out.
Touring's really hard, even if there's a lot of good people. If the place is really fucking bogus, and you can't even, and you're sleeping on the same floor you played on in a bunch of shit, and you have no dry clothes, and you catch pneumonia and go home ill, pretty soon you're not going to want to tour ever again. I think a lot of bands here have fallen apart, haven't they? Like the drummer of who was it that got sick and then came home with pneumonia?
Rhythm Pigs.
Yeah, the Rhythm Pigs. I mean, there's story after story from touring.
Various bands.
You know, basically, I'm not against bands being really political, but I think that music should be just a form of art. I mean, whether it's not a communication for politics or anything, you should just come to a show and enjoy the music, and if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to be there. But we play for ourselves, and if you like it too, that's good. But, you know, please don't put us down for, like, what we're saying, because, I don't know, we're not... Yeah, we may not be as politically aware as we're supposed to be, you know, and we're not always politically correct, but basically we're good people.
I think we could go like right on to the next question with stuff like that, and I think that, I mean, of course, I think in a way that you are in a way a political band, not in the sense of like, I don't know, fuck Reagan or fuck Bush or fuck Schmidt or whoever. I think you have lyrics about economic and
Logical, everything. It's more social. It's all about what we really see happening in our lives, not about someone that we can look at a picture of them in the newspaper and then get our whole idea of what they're about and then start writing, basing our lyrics around that. Our lyrics are a reflection of what we are experiencing, and that's as far as it goes for us, and that's as much as we can do. We may not put out this kind of energy every time we sit down and talk to someone, but when it comes time to writing the music that's going to reach the people, that's when we put in our effort. And I can't carry the burden of all this shit on my shoulders at all times. No one can. Self-destructive.
Yeah, let's stop with that.
We're gonna change the string here. So during this time that we change the little string, we're gonna do a little more of a love tune or something. They just sort of play whatever they want and hope people like it. Just sort of a rhythm section jam. Yo, chill, boy. We'll get it down any second now. Send some help to us, man. Fixing all the guitar work. It's a tribute going out to Peter Bennett. You gotta remember the chorus goes. He starts it, but he's got to drain his hands. It's real slow.
We must be tidy, you know.
a sip of that Pepsi and howl, Joe. It's a little song we wrote in Berlin last year. Much people spew that I had a little too much fun here last year. So this is what we came up with. I hope everyone likes it. It's got Your Town as the name of the song. I like the place. I mean, you're changing and inventing new
Yeah.
kinds of.
Well, it depends. Like even day to day, like if I'm really mad or something, or if I'm real happy, or I just feel real compelled, you know. Different things will trigger different ways of playing.
I would like to know if you're drum-wise just influenced by rock drummers or also by.
No. Every kind of drums. I mean, mostly I would say the best influence I could possibly think of is progressive rock, like just jazz, you know, rad jazz players, because they have like, that's every style in one.
Oh.
You know?
And are there any special favorite drummers like Tony Williams also, which I think.
Who's that guy on that
It's
Jeff
mentioned.
Beck record, man? What's that guy's name? God, I wish. No, not Billy Cobham. Billy Cobham's great, but there's a guy on that Jeff Beck Wired record.
Lenny White?
No, not Lenny White. Lenny White's great too, but he's got that long fucking name. He's got some really weird name, man. He's on the drummer that plays on the Jeff Beck Wired record is the best. I'm sorry.
Rod Morgenstein kicked ass. Rod Morgenstein from the Dixie Dregs.
Yeah.
Kick ass.
He's in Winger now.
What?
He's in Winger.
Winger?
That commercial metal club band.
Really?
15,
Really?
17. Yeah.
He probably decided it's about time for him to make money from music. Like Steve Morse plays for Kansas now too. One of the gnarliest guitar players of all time plays in a cheesy rock and roll band. Makes lots of money.
Kansas happening again or what?
Yeah, that's where Dorothy's from.
Dorothy? Dorothy. Man, that's where Toto and Dorothy's room. So
I think you have a kind of profound knowledge of all kinds of musical styles and
My
times.
favorite right now is Weather Report, and it's soft and slow, but it's intense. It's like the most intense style of percussion, of rhythm, and technique. You know, there's a lot more like it's like taking an instrument and trying to exploit, like from one extreme to the other, of every tone you can possibly get out of it with just using your hands. You know.
And what about the others? What kind of favorite bands are you listening to at the moment?
Me right now is just basically anything that's good, you know, anything that I can get any musical input or knowledge out of, you know. I listen to all types of music. I really don't, you know, put myself down to one. You know, I'll listen to pop and stuff, and I can listen to that and actually find, you know, really good things out of it and stuff, you know. And I can basically listen to anything. Music is music, you know. But I don't know, for major influences, I can't really pinpoint one person. There's a lot of people who really shred, They're really, really good.
I'll listen to everything. I can listen to farts to jazz fusion and dig it. Movie music to rock and roll to classical to punk, you know? Yeah, cartoon music. Cartoon music is killer. Totally orchestrated.
Oh, Iron Maiden. No. God. All kinds of killer olds. Never mind. Let Joe sing.
And how do you relate to the fact that playing tonight under the label of Summer of Love, like I read in the
It's pretty
paper?
ridiculous. The Summer of Love, I don't think is in Hamburg, Germany in 1989. I think they're just making a joke on us, which is okay. We can take a joke. That's fine.
And what do you think in general about San Franciscan music, or how do you fit into the community of San Franciscan styles and what's going on there?
Right now, it's really hard for bands like us because there's no all ages places to play except the commercial places that we don't want to play. Like the Stone, where they have bouncers that'll taser you, you know.
San Francisco is a melting pot. There's virtually 85 to 90% of the people that live in San Francisco are not from San Francisco. Everyone just goes there. It's like a way station for wayward vagrants. I mean, it's true.
But I think on the thanks list on the first album, there's also mentioned, for example, the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic and things like that. And I think that there are things that were invented, you know, in the other Summer of Love, which didn't take place today.
As far as living in general, I think San Francisco is a great city to live in. As far as consuming bands and watching shows, every major touring band to minor touring band goes there. It's a busting scene. It's just hard for bands to be there sometimes because there's too much going on. You kind of get washed up being in the quagmire. You know, you kind of get lost in the mess because there's so many bands of all kinds, of any kind, go there. And after a while, people take bands for granted. You can be trying really hard, be playing every night. People say you're just another band out of millions of bands, so they ignore you. You know. But then again, you can still work yourself up the totem pole in the scene if you try hard and if you are good.
But nevertheless, you are able to put out a double live album, which I think is pretty not necessary, unusual for a punk band or for a band like you, isn't it?
You can tell the story of that. I mean, an extra material.
Well, it was like a follow-up record, you know. It was live, and that's. I mean, if you were to come to our show live and see us, that's what it is. It's that long of material. Next year it won't be. Next year it'll be all new. This year we're almost still backing what we did on Double Live, and we're not really to break out the new music because it's going to take about 6 months of all of us studying it and getting it right.
I've read several times that you now have changed your style more towards a kind of 70s influenced rock and things like that, but I haven't heard it yet, so I would like to know how you would describe any changes that...
It's not towards 70s rock or like, you know, we're not going to come out sounding like Kiss or like Aerosmith or something. If you want to put a label on the 70s, the influence that we're taking from the 70s would be more like Pat Travers or any kind of progressive rock that really people stopped caring about. That was some of the best players around. I mean, like but it's not even 70s. It's everything we can think of. It's futuristic as well. It's some of it. There's a lot of funk slap styles intertwined with a different drum style, with a different guitar style all in one. It's like a big, I don't know. It's the new RKL material. That's all I can say. It's
basically the music we grew up with, you know, and we take it even further.
Ready for the 90s.
Yeah.
The 1990s is going to be an intense decade, I can guarantee you.
70s rock and roll at a 90s pace.
And I would like to know...
not none of the lyrics, no way.
Well, it's old killer slow rock and roll, some of them. You know, if you took our songs and slowed them down, Break the Camel's Back.
New music's not even like that.
Different kinds. You can't explain the new music because there's so many different contrasts and styles. You know, there's going to be one song that'll be fast, next song will be slow. You can't pinpoint it.
There's going to be even soft, clean tones on the next record. Like one song will have heavy vocal influence. It'll be all like major amounts of vocals with enough basics in the music to keep the support for the vocals, and then the next song might be like really broken apart slap bass and funky guitar. You know, you never know. It's to be really diverse every song.
I would like to know, since it's a little hard to find material about you, you know, articles and information. Perhaps you just could tell the story of the rich kids. How it started.
We are aliens. We're not from here.
Aliens.
Yeah, people just don't know. I mean, you can look for birth certificates and you can, no, we just, I don't know, we all met in about 81 or 80, or I don't know, quite a while ago. 75. We just grew up together and just been playing a lot. And I mean, we're just into playing and progressing. I mean, we've played for a long time in the West Coast, and I think a lot of people don't want to write stuff about us. Like Maximum Rock and Roll didn't want to write stuff about us. They did when they had to. When enough people said, "What about that show? They were really fucking good." Okay, RKL, here's their little. We'll throw them a bone. But you know, I guess we were supposed to send in our own interview, which to me is really dull. Prefabricated interview done by the band. You're not asking anybody anything. You're asking yourself. I could sit there and write the perfect question and the perfect answer, you know? So I guess, and that seems to be the most major magazine that's gotten the most publicity over here.
Not in that scene.
In this scene, yeah, this scene. But where do we fit in? You know, are we a metal band? Are we a punk rock band? Will our next record make us a funky fusion band? What are we? You know what I mean?
But I think there are some more bands which might have the same problems. You know?
Yeah,
and
I'm sure there is.
And so perhaps these bands all together build up a kind of a scene. But you're right that say a band like the Tar Babies, do you know them? Which perhaps
I've heard about that.
fit in a similar category, have the same problems in getting articles and things like that. Stimmt. And perhaps it's a silly question, but are you just pretending to be rich kids, or do you really have rich parents?
Well,
you know?
No, not at all. No, I live in some regular closet. Chris is has to get home and come up with some rent somehow. You know, I have to turn on the light or step very carefully when I walk in my house, or I'll cut my foot on a big piece of broken glass. No, the name, first off, it's really funny because all a name for a band is a way to identify their sound with some sort of writing, you know? So we could write piece of shit, and then people, would they ask us, are you really pieces of shit? You know what I mean? We could call ourselves anything. If we were called the Dogs, are you guys really dogs? You look like people. You know what I mean?
That's a little difference, you know? I mean...
Yeah, well, rich kids on LSD, we're not always on acid. Yeah, someone called us that. Someone said, you guys will never amount to anything. You're just a bunch of rich kids on LSD. It was like a sarcastic side, like a joke, a comment, and it stuck. So we kept it. Who cares?
It was on the flyer for the first party we ever played. After 3 years, what are you supposed to do? Change it? You know, you can't. You're sort of stuck with it. You know.
But I think it's a good name. The only problem might be that, not a problem, but there's this other band from England which is called Gay Bikers on Acid. You know, and
there's a band called the Rich Kids too, from Southern California.
I think they're a bit forgotten at the moment.
Yeah, but
Also, Poor Kids on Glue. Poor Kids on Glue are cool, man.
I'd like to find out when Gay Bikers on Acid first had their name and when they came about, you know, because I just started hearing about them lately. Not, you know, for that long.
they were playing the same club we played last year.
Yeah,
in Holland.
but I mean, I've heard about them the last couple of years, but you know, I'd like to see who had the name first.
Have you heard their music?
Like psychedelic.
Psychedelic rock.
They invented this style, which was by the hip English press was called Grebo, you know. Never heard of? This is a kind of retro 70s style with, you know, also people like Zodiac Mindwarp also having invented. But I think they're a lot more a product of a kind of fashion thoughts and things like that. Yes. And you hear it.
England has runaway fashion.
I'll
I
tell
went
you,
there.
You cannot have the name gay bikers on acid in the States, I don't think, because I think a bunch of bikers would pummel you and beat you. Yeah, come on, really. Down Haight Street, gay bikers on acid. Past the Pall Mall
No,
Grill.
They played in the States.
Yeah?
They played the Kennel Club.
Wow.
Danny went and saw him and gave him a Rich Kids and LSD flyer when
Yeah.
we were playing Golden Gate Park.
And what about your kind of I mean, how many people usually come to your show when you're playing in your community in San Francisco? I mean, how big are you over there?
It kind of depends if it's an all ages show or over 21 crowd. When it's the over 21 crowd, we can get up to 200. When it's all ages, we can get a lot more.
Thing is this, I mean, a show for all ages and a show.
21 years of age and over is the bars. In California, you can't go to a bar unless you're, or most of the United States, unless you're 21 years of age. Okay.
It's really hard to draw big. It's really hard to draw big in San Francisco now, because like the clubs are like there's not really any real clubs to play anymore. You know, they're all like over 21, and then what San Francisco needs is a big place where a lot of people can go. You know, where it's all ages, people can have fun. Like the Farm was. The Farm was a perfect place to play. You know, and a lot of people always showed up because it was a great atmosphere. And people were kind there, and it was good.
But the Farm had a lot of problems.
Most of them, yeah, because of the alcohol problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, maybe.
Also, the youths are more violent. The people over 21 tend to be more mellow, but the youths have that. They're more violent. It just happens.
But the people over 21 don't want to go if they can't get anything to drink. I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's the whole controversy. You know, it's really about how comfortable the person is to see the band. There's so many bands in San Francisco that really, if they're not comfortable singing it, then they won't. Also, San Francisco is a lot smaller. If we go to Los Angeles, we just sold out the country club. Place is huge. You know, that's like almost to the point of small arena playing. You know, but it depends on where you play. I mean, we can draw. I'm sure we would draw really big in New York because we haven't been there in a long time. I mean, you never know.
I think in New York too.
San Francisco's real small now, though. For any
It's such a
band.
small city.
Yeah, it's a small city. It looks
I think
big,
it's
but
smaller than Hamburg. You know, it's 250,000 people. How many people live here?
I think about 5 as much. You know, 1 million and 2.
5.5 million.
1.5
million. It's like 3-4 times bigger than San Francisco.
Oh.
No, San Francisco's 500,000. That's right.
Excuse me, but how old are you, if I may ask?
Oh, I'm 18.
So what about when you're playing in a club that's yes?
Well, usually they're really lenient, but sometimes they won't let me have any beer or nothing. You know, they keep me low and I have to stay backstage. I remember playing at the Kennel Club. I had to wait outside until we had to go, when I had to play. I had to wait outside.
That's so lame.
Yeah, it was really stupid. I mean, I had to wait outside in the cold, and I wanted to get in. They really wouldn't let me in. I was like, come on, I'll stay backstage, but they still wouldn't let me in.
Bill Graham Productions. Bill Graham is really tight and worried about getting busted for alcohol.
Every bar or every club in San Francisco is now, because the cops, especially with the Bush administration, are really cracking down on bars, and they have busted bars, and bars do lose their liquor licenses,
yeah,
which is the Firehouse, the Berkeley Square. I mean, they're an all-ages club now, and it's really good to play all-ages shows, but I mean, they lost a lot of money because they lost their liquor license, and liquor licenses cost $150,000 to get.
Yeah.
So it's a major loss for a club to lose their liquor license. So they take a major risk by letting minors in that drink.
You mentioned Bill Graham. Is he still such an important figure in the?
Yeah.
Here's the deal with Bill Graham. Bill Graham started in the 60s, built an empire. Now he has this big grip over the music scene where, okay, here's the big name level of music, okay? Here's the level next to it and the one under it. And below those 3 levels of music, you have alternative music, okay? He doesn't have any control over the alternative music until enough people like you to where you're gonna play a big enough place. Then, boom, contract control. If you're big enough to where you're selling millions of records, then he makes you sign a union paper. He virtually makes money on any band that comes through that section of the country. You know, he has a musicians union where he says you get to play here, here, and here, and that's it. And then, I'm sorry, you don't get to play at all. You know, he has total control over big bands.
He has control in New York too. He owns some New York clubs. Because he used to have the Fillmore East. He had the Fillmore East and the Fillmore West. So now he controls part of the New York scene too. He's, you know,
almost like some mob trip or something.
And to another topic, in the song "Blocked Out," you mentioned there's kind of some kind of deep mistrust in magazines and things like that. So I would like to know what do you generally think about the American music press and
Mostly media, though, that you're talking about, isn't it?
No, it's magazines too. It's like these magazines. Okay, you get. I'm not going to pick any names individually. There's a lot of magazines that are like, we're an open-minded, uncensored magazine here to give you information from every point of view and every angle about about a lot of things. Just shit, man. You get a bunch of people going, ew, we don't like that. So we'll just pick what we do like. You know, it's like everything. The only communication there is really that is really free is music, because it's coming right from the artist and right to the vinyl. Okay, some people are told they can't put this word or that word. Okay, and it's the artist's choice whether or not they want to abide by any kind of rules. They can have complete artistic freedom, but it's the magazines, it's the radio stations, it's the whole trip. It's like the last form of communication that we really have that anybody can trust that's really going to work is music. You hear a song, it sounds good. The lyrics are a weird story. You can't really tell whether
you seem to have a kind of funny aspect on you, you know. But considering the lyrics, you're always very serious. Or doesn't I see it right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and the whole reason is like, look, you know, you write a song, it's a good song. You have, I'm not going to go around like preaching, you know, ecological or social or political messages. You know, I just live and I play. But when I get a chance to write lyrics, I got a melody. I'm gonna take. That's my offering to try to make the world a better place or whatever. You know. So when it comes to lyrics, it's like, okay, try to spread a positive message. You know, well, maybe it's not positive. It doesn't make you happy to hear things, but at least it's awareness. Yeah, it's a real message. It's awareness. And then you try to surround it with something that'll cheer people up. You know, because no one wants to be depressed all the time.
Of course. If you had
power.
If you had to compare the your audience in America and in Germany, do you see any major differences or not? Yes.
Yeah. Mostly like mostly in the States, the crowds are just pretty much there to have fun. I mean, some of them are really politically aware, like. Here, the crowds here are much more politically aware, and when a band is not politically correct, they make sure and let the band know that they don't like that and stuff. It's more fun in the States, but the kids are probably more naive as far as being politically correct is concerned.
Things make more of a difference like here than they do there. Okay, people can say, "Oh, squatters' rights, squatters' rights." Okay, cool. They squat a building, they take it over. If we say squatters' rights, the only one that's. Why don't you just walk it over here? In the States, it doesn't make any difference. United States does not make any difference. If you squat a building, the cops beat your ass and you get kicked out. And that's just life. Tough shit. So why should kids care? All they do is try to stay out of trouble and not get their heads beat in and try to have fun.
I mean, a thing like squatting is it done in America? I mean, do you have?
No.
It is, but not
okay,
for
when
very
you
long
do it,
periods.
yeah,
It's really underground. Squatting is really underground because, like I said, if you get caught squatting, the cops will just kick the shit out of you, you know, bust your head in. There are a lot of squats, but they're really underground. No one's willing to share squats with their friends, but just public squats because then everyone tells their friends, and their friends show up, and everyone expects the place to crash, and the place gets busted. In 1984, they tried to make squatting semi-legal, and they tried to make it public too. and then they made the mistake of telling the media. They got a lot of media coverage, and all the squats got busted that same year, and everyone got kicked out of a squat, and they were homeless. You know.
But isn't California and especially San Francisco more liberal in?
Yeah,
in
it is.
things?
There's actually starting to be some squat laws. If you like are technically in a squat for over not rent strike, a squat. If you're in a place, you've occupied the place for over a month, and you have proof of that, like you sent a letter to yourself, or you have a letter postmarked, like over a month ago, then you have a right to be there for another couple months. But still, the landlord has lawyers and will kick you out. You know, it has rent control, which is really good too. San Francisco is the most liberal city when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, but see, the difference between a squat here and a squat there is, a squat here is a bunch of people in a building graffitiing it and publicly showing everybody they have a squat. Okay, what usually. But the opposite extreme is one person with a candle hiding with a baseball bat in some room in an empty building, waiting for not only the cops but some street psycho, you know, totally paranoid, freaked out, waiting to get thrown out. You can't live like that.
No, of course.
Still better than being homeless, and there's a lot of homeless people in the United States. Thousands, you know. Homeless problem is a pretty bad problem.
And I think there's nothing done about it, is it?
There is. There's like church organizations and some people and different groups that try to help homeless people, but it's a pretty sad situation. I mean,
Supposedly, some of the homeless people say they're better off in the park than in some of those organizations. I don't really know why. I haven't been there myself, but
Because they're talking about the Tenderloin. They're talking about
Yeah.
really bogus ghettos and stuff.
Which is the only place that the city will allow for the church to give to the homeless people. I mean, there's plenty of nice buildings that are in nice neighborhoods, but they don't want a bunch of vagrants and bums going there, polluting their nice neighborhoods. They'll send you off to the ghetto and then stick you in some old abandoned factory that smells like asbestos, you know? You know, then they'll stick all the bums there and give them a piece of bread and some water.
Some Reagan cheese.
Yeah, some Reagan cheese.
There's a lot of homeless people though that really deserve, they deserve help. But then there's a lot of homeless people who are able-bodied, can find a place to work, and they make it seem like they're caught in a catch-22. They go, well, I can't get a job without a place to live, and I can't get a place to live without a job, so I'm just so burned. Those people I don't feel sorry for at all. They could change that. There is people that are homeless and old, or a lot of things that
Veterans.
deserve
Veterans are treated like shit.
help.
Mental illness and stuff.
Vietnam veterans are treated like shit. They are. I mean, you see them, not only are a lot of them missing limbs and stuff, but they're just psycho. Like, I had to work with a guy for a long time who was psycho. He could not hold it together. He would walk around like for weeks like this, strangling himself, saying really perverted shit to us, and it was like, I'd tell my boss, what the fuck, and he would just say, hey man, he was my buddy from war, he's fucked up, I'm sorry. And so what happened to him? He couldn't function in society anymore, so now he's just some psycho walking around in LA.
part of the reason why most of the Vietnam vets are so fucked up are because when they went to the war, their parents had been telling them, yeah, you got to fight for your country, and so they did what their country did. And when they came back, all the hippies were saying, fuck you guys for going, you guys are fucked. And the veterans did not they got treated like shit because they went, and which...
The government shit on them, gave them no compensation for their war efforts.
Yep.
Then they were shit on from both ends of society. They were just complete fucking butt wiped,
A lot of them snapped. Most of them snapped, it seems like. Almost all the vets are just a little bit weird, and a lot of them are a lot weird.
Yeah. I'm sure that if I went and I came back, I'd snap too. Each and every one of us would.
Plus, that war was one of the worst wars America's seen in the entire decade,
Yeah.
They didn't even declare war.
What's that
Declared war.
statistic? More bombs were dropped in 1 month in Vietnam than there was in World War II. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it now is like the difference between Europe and America is last year when we finished the European tour, I went back to the States, and the first thing I saw was like all these kids' toy commercials, and they're all ultra-violent militant toys. They're all like plastic Uzis and G.I. Joe grenades and shit like that. And the younger generation right now has no concept of a realism to war. Like, they don't look at war like, oh, you go with your friend somewhere and then you see his head get blown off, They don't like look at it like that. And I think over here there's been fighting on this soil, this country's a lot older, so I think it's more evident in society. People see it, and people's grandparents say, hey, there was bombs coming down one day. I saw pieces of people flying I'm sure there's been stories told where in the States, the only people that have a concept of that are the people from the 60s. And everyone else, like especially now, the young kids are like, G.I. Joe, the great American hero.
Rambo.
Yeah, like just like fucking Rambo, I say.
War is glorified. There's a lot of war movies, war TV shows, like war toys, and video games. Video games seems like preparation, you know, for the kids for future war maneuvers. They learn how to push buttons and, you know, pull levers really fast and learn how to blow up the little guy and here's the enemy and stuff like that. They learn how to do that really good.
Computers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
computers.
They're totally into it. All these
And future
little
wars,
wizards.
and future wars aren't nuclear wars, and they will be like computer wars, you know.
Yeah, people will sit in some bomb shelter and just blow up people with some computer.
Yeah. And all these little kids that have mastered video games are going to learn how to do it really good, you know.
Where you can like control little toy soldiers, like real soldiers with real guns, by some joystick. Oh.
Okay, there's like in the media now that what sells is like explosions and gunfire and violence, right? But they're not allowed now. There's new laws saying, okay, you can't show graphic death. You can't show death on TV, not even in cartoons. So they have like the Rambo cartoon, right, where Rambo goes around blowing everyone away, and everybody jumps out of the tank and it blows up, or like the A-Team, like hundreds of bullets are flying, but no one ever dies. They get taken to jail smoothly. So people, I mean, young kids are actually thinking, oh wow, I can just blow anything up and no one will get hurt. I mean, there's people that really think that shit.
But I think that the American the government, you know, or a person like Bush is going to get some serious problems because he's now slowly losing his major enemy, you know, with the Russians, which are more and more becoming the friendly face of a super powered. And so it's hard to find reasons, for example, like at the moment in Germany, to modernize the weapons, because you can't. There aren't any reasons, any serious reasons. So
I think Russia looks like the friendly face right now, but at the same time, if you really think about it, you know, there's this, we just played with a Russian heavy metal band. Okay, they're like, oh, in the last 2 years, we're able to do things now, you know? We're able to leave, at least, you know? Okay, well, how can they be, I mean, I can't really look at them like, oh, they're the friendly face because Gorbachev came in, and because everything's cool now because people are finally allowed to sell their own milk. He did a lot, but what kind of state were they in before? You know what I mean? It's like, as far as a state of freedom for their people, I can't really say because I haven't been there. But I mean, okay, we're one of the, I'm sure there's hundreds of bands in Russia. We're one of the bands that gets to leave now, okay?
Oh, the bands are getting to leave now.
Yeah, they're getting to leave now. So they're looking like a friendly face, but still you can't say that like, oh God, they're letting a couple people sell things and they're letting people leave once in a while. All right, you know? Because that just, I mean, Bush sucks too, but I'm just saying.
I think it's not the people that's a question. I think it's about
their government.
The way the politics are being done, not to their own people, but what they're doing to the outside world. They're changing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting a lot better.
They're reducing weapons right now at a constant rate, actually.
I think that's good that they're letting people out and stuff now.
Of course it
you know?
is.
It's like fucking killer, you know?
Obviously, but what I'm saying is you can't take that and go, yay, because it's like, what the fuck? How come it hasn't been that way before? How come, you know, maybe it'll take time for it to get better and better, and that's good. They're getting more modern. I mean, I'll tell you, I would be really depressed if I lived somewhere there and was not allowed to leave my country. I could only go to countries that were owned by that government. You know, what the fuck is that? That's like, the grass is always greener on the other side, but you'll never get to see it, you know? That's what it tells me. It's just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't see communism as ever being completely true because there's greedy people in the world everywhere.
of course. No, what I wanted to say was just that that it's hard for kind of military propaganda to do the propaganda if you have no object which you can relate it to.
As far as the enemy, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I'm just thinking about some other questions if I have any more. Perhaps.
What do
Yeah.
animals have to do with this, Chris?
Animas?
What?
Talk about
Amoebas?
music.
How about a cranial
Just
anima?
want to ask which other things apart from music you're into, you know, like culture.
Extracurricular activities.
Eating good food, having good sex.
You are? Did you hear Dave? What Dave's into?
He's in the butt.
You're pretty harsh, bro.
Look at that.
Shit, man. Shit.
Me, I'm into skateboarding.
Alright, dude.
I'm a skate jock.
Ollie, dude.
Skate or
All
die.
dude. Skate, dude, doing Ollie, dude. Watch this 360, Joe. Hey, Dave, what's that thing you're holding, dude? It's pretty funny looking, dude. Hey, dude, what's up? Yeah, dude, all right.
No,
I'm just into music in every form. That's it. All styles of music, every instrument I can get my hands on.
my bum is possessed by music there.
That's it.
Would you say that you're leading kind of a more healthy lifestyle or more? I mean, you have songs like Pothead also, you know. So I think perhaps you like to do
like to
some
smoke pot.
health propaganda.
Everyone likes to smoke. I mean, everyone in the band pretty much likes to smoke pot at one time or another.
Yeah, Dave. What's the deal on that?
I like to smoke pot and play guitar for hours, but not. I don't like to smoke every time because that kind of makes it the same every time. If I can smoke once in a while and play, then it kind of takes me into my own trip, and I can block out everything else.
Okay.
That's an old song. That's more like fun for everybody that can relate to it. I feel no shame for smoking pot. I never have. I mean, no one. If it was legal, everything would be fine in the States. Just that there's no way the government can ever make money on it, so they'll never legalize it. But they'll smuggle heroin. But Bush, there was that movie. He was smuggling heroin and coke during during Vietnam. But they can make money on that. It's a human being controlling substance. But pot is just like. Some people like it, some people don't. The people that like it get into it and grow it and totally are into it,
I just mentioned it because there are kinds of this kind of so-called straight edge bands which completely avoid all things like alcohol and drugs
and sex and this. It's another rule.
Meat and
Yeah, okay,
so-
that's like someone like is so freaked out that they can't. It has to be their way. Life has to be their way. Like I can't stand pot. I can't stand drinking. It's wrong. So no one else should do it. They're about to snap anyways. Fuck them, man. If everybody in the world was the same, they would take away individualism. And I think everybody should do what the fuck they want, as long as it doesn't hurt or jeopardize or manipulate the future of anybody else.
Definitely.
That's all.
Fucking man.
Hey, fucking man.
So you wanted to talk about music. Amen. Amen.
So I wanted to talk about music. What about
Music, what's that?
What's
Never heard of it. Go ahead, talk about it.
Talk about it?
Go ahead,
Well,
talk about it, man.
Talk about it. Talk about.
I'd like to say, if it makes any difference, anybody that ever reads this, if you ever get a chance, you should fucking open your brains up and start listening to really rad at least the existing jazz people that still play, because they're some of they're probably the best players in the world fall into the jazz circuit, and they're ignored, and the only people that listen to them are musicians and cult followers, and they have a worse time than we do. I know people that can play so amazing. I mean, I can't even comprehend the way they play, and the reason that they get no recognition and nothing is because it's too incredible. So I would hope that the same people that have some kind of morals for getting into hardcore and shit would take advantage of the fact that of the jazz circuit and support those people if they're good, and at least give it a listen and try to get into it, because those people are washing dishes and they can outplay anybody in the world.
When did you recognize your love for certain jazz musicians?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Oh.
I didn't really know, because I was still closed-minded in a sense that if it's not totally intricate and intense and hard and fast, something can be just as powerful in a different way. There's so many styles of power. I mean, it's infinite. Music is infinite. It's just like art. There's spray paint. There's hand paints. There's vintage realism. There's surrealism. And it's all just as good as the other. And it's good to have the variety. It's enlightening. I mean, I don't know. I got really into it just because here's a player that washes dishes, gets treated like shit, and is probably now dead or just living in some apartment playing in a shitty pop band because they need to make money to eat. But they can. Fuck, they're a virtuoso, they're a genius, but no one cares because they're too stupid to care. It's true.
So I don't have any more questions. Sorry.
That's all right. How long has your magazine been existing?
For 10 years exactly.
What are your writing influences?
No, surely not Bukowski. How distributed?
Yeah.
I mean, how many copies are around you? About 40,000.
And how many are sold?
About 50,000.
What's your annual net profit of?
What are your political beliefs? Do you only write about political bands or every band?
No, I think that every band has a kind of political. You know, any band says something about the circumstances that are around, which are around the band and which the band is relating to, and so this has always to be mentioned. You know.
Have punk rockers ever like approached you and bitched at you and hassled you? Well, God, your magazine is in color. How come it's not on toilet paper? You sell out, capitalist pig, selling 40,000 copies. Do you ever get hassled?
But you use fresh paper. You don't use recycled paper.
It's because you're not on stage standing in front of a bunch of people when they pay to get in and see you and you're not from another country. We're a target. We're just a big target, a big magnet for hassle at this point.
I like this magazine though. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
In America, it's much better because it's more.
It's open. It's open. It has more open.
And it's
We're sorry to say, but we're glad to play it here at Van Hall for the last show. Pleasure, thank you for making us feel so welcome. Thanks for all the people at Van Hall, our great friends, Mako. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try and make it the best one we can tonight, so we'll start with a beautiful feeling, huh? For all the people that took a little acid tonight. Maybe if there are any of you. best show, the last show. So who knows what order we'll do it in, huh? What's your deal? Hold on, I gotta do something here.
Hey, Akko, we got to move the wine. I think Joe has the key.
Can I hear it faster? Someone wanted to hear it faster? The fast song.
So move your blue butts. Oh, cool. Okay. Somebody starts it. I'll be clueless. The camera's on you. You better start it, dude. Take a drink. Okay, request time. Okay. Request time for this track. Scattle my brain. I don't know.
Brand new. Well, it's on the live album on Destiny, for those of you who don't have it. That was a nice little ending. called Find a Way. Das ist Grundraum. Augsburg, Rock City, who said that? Okay, we're gonna rock it because it's the last two songs of the last night of the club. So let's see Augsburg can rock number 3. We'll try.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Nightmare. This is the end. Thank you very much for coming. Bootleg's probably been a wonderful close to a lot of people. Nightmare ends. Rock and roll. Turn it on. Does it work?
do that. think it's the last one here. Probably being honest. Trying to do something